My most loving pranams at Bhagawan's lotus feet. I pray to Swami that he gives us all the understanding that it is Swami who speaks, it is Swami who listens to each one of us. Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, Sairam to all of you. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor to be with all of you here. The topic of this entire conference is gratitude, and I don't think I can be more grateful for this opportunity to be here. We have the opportunity to live in Prashanti, Nilayam, constantly ruminate over Swami's message, speak about him, speak about his life. But I feel every now and then Swami ensures that we travel and come to places such as this and see how his words, his love and devotion for him is being lived out. That video that we had the opportunity to see before the break was indeed a small glimpse into that. And it is so very beautiful and fills one's heart with immense joy to see Swami reaching out to so many people, to youngsters like all of you. We are in a very sacred land, the land of Buddha, Lumbini, right? And as I was thinking, Buddha left Lumbini in search of answers. Here we are gathered here in search of answers. Buddha left Lumbini in search of clarity, and our quest for clarity has brought us to that same Lumbini. It's a beautiful occasion, a wonderful venue to be gathering for this. And what a very important topic that has been considered for this conference. Any number of times Swami has spoken about the value and the importance of gratitude. As part of this talk, I thought I'll just share a few thoughts based on what Swami has said on many occasions. I will start with a small anecdote. Once Swami was giving darshan, he was in the portico, he was talking to a few students and some of the elders there. There was one devotee who was a very well accomplished businessman and also a very active member of Swami's organization. So Swami called him and Swami started talking to him, and Swami asked him questions regarding the work in the organization and probably a few personal matters. At the end of it, Swami asked him, "How is your sadhana?" Swami asked, "How is your sadhana going on?" And this gentleman looked at Swami and said, "Swami, I have no time." Swami said, "You have no time? What are you busy with?" And this man said, "Swami, I am busy in Swami's mission." And Swami looked at him, "You're busy in my mission? What is Swami's mission?" Swami asked, "What is my mission?" And he was blank, he didn't know what to tell. The Swami looked at the students around and Swami asked them, "What is Swami's mission?" And all the students were quiet. Maybe a few were brave enough to give some answers, but Swami was not impressed. Then, with a mischievous smile, Swami said, "I am not a missionary, sir. I am not a missionary. What mission are you talking about?" And then Swami said very profoundly, he said, "Every avatar, every noble being, every Mahatma takes birth in this earthly plane only with one mission. And that is to lead each one of you to your own truth. We all may get attracted to Swami and Swami's organization for various reasons. Someone might be saying, I just like to participate in bhajans. Someone might say that I like to be active in Seva. Or someone might say that my parents put me in Bal Vikas, so here I am. The reasons may be many. But the purpose that Swami has for each one of us to be a part of this organization is only spiritual. He wants to lead each one of us to our own truth. And that doesn't change. Imagine a small child born in a royal family. Right? He's born to become the king of the future. He's going to be prince. He's eventually going to take up the kingdom's reins. So the people around this small child will make him do a lot of things. They will teach him a lot of talents. They will train him in various things. But the child will not know what he is being prepared for, isn't it? If he is a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. But he will be giving himself up to whatever training is being given to him. Very similarly, I think we all are in Swami's fold. We may or may not know what Swami is making us do certain things for. We may not know why Swami is making us do Seva. We may not know why Swami has been insistent that we should do Namasmarana. But whether or not our purpose is spiritual, Swami's purpose is that. And in spirituality, Swami would often say, the biggest culprit is the ahankara, right? The ego. And to deal with this ego is very difficult because, as Swami says, the ego is very, very subtle. It is easy to deal with the body, it can be seen. It is easy to deal with the senses because we have an experience of them. It is even possible to deal with the mind, but it is impossible to deal with this ahankara directly. So Swami gives us many tools and means by which we can deal with the manifestations of this ego in our everyday life. And one of the most important tools or attitudes that Swami gives us is that of gratitude. A very simple example. I'm standing here and I'm communicating with all of you. I'm speaking in English. I have the ability to express in words what thoughts occur to me. I could stand here and say that, I'm a good speaker. I'm very good at this language. But if you look at it, how many people have contributed for me to be able to stand here and speak? Starting right from the teachers of my kindergarten, who probably taught me the alphabets, to progressively every teacher who has trained us in some way to be able to communicate. And thereafter the teachers in Swami's college who taught us how to look at Swami, how to learn from Swami's message. It is all of their contribution that has culminated probably in this moment where I'm standing and talking to you, isn't it? The more I am grateful to all of these people's contributions, the less likely I am to be proud of what I am today, isn't it? Each one of you have a reason to be proud. You should be proud of yourself. But the more you are grateful for the contribution of all those teachers, of all your relatives, your parents, your friends, and all the experiences that you've got through life, if we remember to think of all of that with gratitude, the reason to be proud actually melts away, isn't it? That is why it is very important to always remember that we are not self-made. So many have toiled and contributed to what we are today. The other manifestation of this ego is the idea of, as Swami would say, doership. Right? We all have heard that I have done this, I do this. Again, the moment you start acknowledging the contribution of all others in whatever work you're doing, imagine you're working, you have a team under you in your corporate job, and you're able to accomplish some task. Is it ever possible to do everything all by yourself without the contribution of others, without the help of others? So the more we start looking at life and start seeing, I have so much to be grateful for, I have so many people to thank. This concept of doership, as I again said, we may or may not have a spiritual bent of mind now. But one of the most important things that we are trying to get rid of is this feeling that I am doing, so I must get my reward. Once Swami was talking to the students and Swami was speaking about karma. Right? Swami was saying how karma is relentless. Whatever you do will come back to you. Every action has a reaction. So when Swami was talking about this, there was this one student who looked a little perplexed. He was confused. Then Swami looked at his expression and Swami said, "What is the problem? Why are you worried? Why are you confused?" And this boy said, "Swami, whatever action we perform, will we have a reaction for that? Will we have consequences for that?" Swami said, "Yes, indeed. So if I do even the smallest bad, I will have to come back in another life to experience the consequences of that?" Swami said, "Yes." Then this boy asked, "Swami, then if I even do good, will I have to come back in another life to enjoy the consequence of that?" And Swami said, "Yes, even good will come back to you and you will have to take another birth to enjoy it." And this boy was saying, "Swami, that is the problem. So even if I am going to do good and come back life after life, then what is the point? Aren't we all trying to put an end to the cycle of birth and death?" And Swami said, "Very good question. Yes, as much as bad can bring you back, good also can bring you back into another life." And Swami said, that is why it is important to give up doership. The feeling that I am the doer, I am the one who has done this, I am the one who has accomplished this. I have given charity. I am helping another person. Yes, doing good deeds allows you to reach that state where you are able to give up that doership. So this giving up of doership is another very important thing that has to be overcome. And for that, Swami again says, acknowledge the contribution of everyone who is enabling you to even accomplish the smallest of tasks. Then you will understand that this is a whole machinery that is working and something is being accomplished and you are one small part in that. Sometimes in events such as this, when so much is happening, many times you feel that, right? My contribution is so less. Because when unitedly so many people come and do, so much can be accomplished and it is accomplished without the feeling of I. Whenever Swami would do massive projects like the Gram Seva or the hospital, the water projects, Swami would allow everyone to participate in it, but almost no one will have the feeling that I have done it. I think that is the benefit of doing Swami's work. But also this conscious idea of so many people have come together and done this, and so it has been accomplished. And finally, and most importantly, the other reason why gratitude, Swami says, is very important is you will find a sense of responsibility towards the society. Nothing is possible if not for the society helping us to be who we are. Imagine we are congregated in such a beautiful venue. Isn't this venue the gift of the society? Right? We did not put it up in one day. So many people have come together, be it the government, be it the society, be it the people who are in other organizations. When they come together and do something, we all can benefit out of it. And when we start realizing that, simple things like we have completed education, we have a simple job. It's not possible without the society existing, right? Swami would say that you might be a shopkeeper, but if not for customers, how will you be able to make your money? So you should be grateful for those people who are contributing to your livelihood. So when we feel that sense of gratitude towards the society, Swami says, automatically you will feel a sense of responsibility to give back to society. So this attitude of gratitude, Swami says, is central to this spiritual journey that we all are being taken through by Swami. In fact, Swami goes on to say that if we ask ourselves, how do we start leading a spiritual life? How do we not be merely worldly in our outlook? How do we start becoming spiritual? One of the key qualities to develop is this quality of gratitude. In everything that we need to learn, in everything that we need to progress, for us the greatest inspiration has always been Swami, isn't it? He has been the ideal, he has been teaching us. And so it is with gratitude too. I recall one of the most beautiful episodes I'd read some time ago, and it's quite unique. I've never come across that before. It was in the days when Swami was still in the, what we refer to as the old mandir. Right now where you have the Kalyana Mandapam in Prashanti Nilayam. Those of you who've been to Prashanti Nilayam in Puttaparthi will know these places. So before Swami moved to the main ashram, for a few years Swami was in this place called the old mandir. So there was this boy who was taking care of Swami's personal needs, and he noticed a lot of people would come to the mandir, and among them were some of the tribal people from around Puttaparthi. And these tribal people were nomads. They would go into the forest, they would collect honey, firewood and such things. They would rear cattle, sell milk and curd. So he noticed that very simple people, they still were not used to even the usage of money. They used to only transact in barter, right? You should give them grains in return for whatever commodity they gave. So this boy noticed that a lot of these tribal people would come, but there was one particular lady, a tribal lady, whom whenever she would come and sit for darshan, Swami will definitely go and talk to her. It never happened that Swami did not go and talk to her when he saw her. And some days Swami would call her and Swami would take her inside, and Swami would ensure that she eats food and then leaves. Or sometimes Swami would go and give her something, some prasadam, some vibhuti. So he noticed that there was some unique relationship between Swami and this lady. So he asked Swami, Swami, what is special about that devotee? Why is it that every time she comes, you go and speak to her? And Swami told him, you go and ask her, why are you asking me? So the boy waited for the opportunity to go and ask this lady. So it did happen that she came to the mandir when Swami was not there once. So he called this lady aside and he asked her, please Sama, tell me the story between you and Swami. Why is it that Swami gives you so much attention? So the humble lady, tribal lady, she said, I don't know why Swami gives me attention, but I will tell you a story. And she narrated a story of how when she was once going through the forest, she was chopping wood and she would go into the village and sell that firewood. At one particular place, she saw one small baby wrapped up in cloth being washed by the river. Right? Somewhere somebody has lost a child and the child is being washed down the river. So seeing that, she jumped into the river and she picked up this child who was nobody to take care of. And for a moment she thought maybe this is a gift of God to her because she was childless. So she takes the child back to her camp where they were all staying at that point in time. And she starts taking care of this little baby. And when she goes again to the village to sell some firewood, that is when she hears some commotion where a few families are crying about having lost a child. And instantly she realizes that this is the child that they're looking for. So she goes back home, brings the child, gives it to the family. The family is very grateful and happy. And she goes back, and that lady says that shortly thereafter I was blessed with a child myself, maybe because of the small seva that I did. So this boy who heard this entire story, he asked that lady, okay, all this is fine, but what does it have to do with Puttaparthi? What does it have to do with Swami? And this tribal lady smiled and said, that baby was none other than Swami. It was Swami who was a small baby, washed down Chitravati, and this lady had jumped into the river and rescued him. And for that single act of motherliness that she had performed, here was Swami showing gratitude for years together. That is the amount of love that Swami had and the gratitude, the importance that he gave. Another fascinating story that I remember is of another old lady who used to sell groundnuts outside Swami's mandir. A very poor lady, abandoned by her family and children. So she was selling groundnuts to the devotees who were coming for darshan. And that's how she was making her living. So one day Swami came up to her, and she used to come and sit for darshan sometimes when she has finished her business. So Swami asked her, Amma, are you making enough money? Are you able to find enough to sustain yourself? So this lady says, Swami, I try. Some days I have enough, some days I have to sleep hungry, but that's life. So instantly Swami was so moved by the plight of this old lady, and Swami asked her, if I give you a job, will you do? Will you do some job for me? So she said, Swami, I don't know anything. What will I do for you? I have no talent, I have nothing to know, I have no learning. What can I do for you? And then she said, if you really permit me, I can wash dishes in your kitchen. Right? That I am capable of. I can wash vessels in your kitchen. And Swami instantly said, why not? Come. Come and do that and I will take care of you. I will pay for you. And that's how this lady started washing dishes in Swami's kitchen. And sometime later she realized that another work that she could do was bring hot water for Swami's bath. So every morning she would wake up at 3:30 in the morning, go to Chitravati, fill 2 buckets of water, carry it all the way to Prashanti Nilayam, go up to Swami's room and fill the boiler. Those days we used to have this boiler for hot water. So this was going on for a few years. There was a devotee of Swami who was a doctor in Bangalore. So he had come for Swami's darshan. And Swami calls him one day and Swami said, I have a important work for you. A very important work. This devotee says, yes Swami, anything, you tell me, what should I do? And Swami says, this lady who serves me by washing dishes, she has not been keeping well. I want you to take her to Bangalore to a good doctor. And he said, yes Swami, why not? Definitely. So it was decided that she will be put in the car of this devotee and taken to a doctor. And even as they were starting, Swami comes down running from his room and Swami says, stop, stop. She is very sick. I don't think she will survive the journey. Swami says, I will also come with you. Imagine, for the lady who washes dishes in Swami's kitchen, Swami not only is making arrangements for her treatment, but here is Swami saying, I will come along with her in the car because I feel she might not make it. And Swami gets into the car. This lady is put in the car along with Swami. And this lady, it was already diagnosed that she was having a burst appendix. So as they were driving the car, almost every bump and bit in the road, this lady would scream out in pain. And immediately Swami will turn back and say, no, don't worry, you'll be fine. Every now and then materializes vibhuti, gives it to her and says, don't worry, it'll be fine. And drives all the way to Bangalore. It's a holiday, they reach in Bangalore, so no hospitals are open, no doctors are available. They go and wake up one of the doctors. And imagine the surprise of the doctor when he opens the door, he finds Swami standing in front of the door. And Swami tells him, I have a patient for you, doctor, very important. The doctor might have thought some VIP. But who is this? The lady who is washing dishes in Swami's kitchen. And the doctor says, Swami, I am ready to do the surgery, but I don't have an anesthetist. Swami says, I am there, I will take care of that. And Swami materializes vibhuti again, gives it to her, and makes her unconscious and tells the doctor, now you can do your surgery. So the surgery is being done. It's a small clinic somewhere in the corner of Bangalore. And outside that operation theatre, there is a small wooden bench which they usually keep for patients to sit and wait. And here is Swami sitting on that bench and waiting for the surgery to get over. The devotee who had driven Swami to the hospital said, Swami, why don't you come to my house and take rest? We will come back tomorrow morning and see this lady. Swami said, no, I have to wait. So the surgery gets over, and of course she's not going to come to consciousness immediately. Again, a few hours, and Swami is sitting on that bench, no complaints. Again the devotee says, Swami, why don't you go and take some rest? You've traveled the whole day. Swami says, no. And Swami tells, see, she's a very poor lady, she's a very simple lady. She doesn't know about these hospitals and medicines and surgeries and all that. So she must be so scared. So when she opens her eyes, I should be there. Then she will feel comforted. And for that, Swami sat for 3 hours on that bench, hard wooden bench outside, waiting for this lady to open her eyes. And when she finally opened her eyes, Swami went to her bedside and she burst out in tears, just thinking that all this while Swami was waiting just to give her that darshan. And she looked at Swami and said, Swami, why? Why did you have to sit and why did you have to trouble yourself like this? And Swami looked at her and said, in all these years, have I had to wait even one day for water before I went for bath? In all these years, did I ever had to think of another person to come and wash the dishes in my kitchen? Swami said, you have served me so much. Should I not be grateful to you? Should I not show this much love to you? Imagine when we sing bhajans, what do we sing? Brahmanda Nayaka Baba. Think of it, for those of you who study physics, think what that Brahmanda represents, what that universe is. He is the master of that whole universe. But do the smallest thing for him, and he says, I am bound in love to you. If he can show such gratitude, how much more is expected of each one of us? There is a very important portion in the Bhagavad Gita which Swami speaks about in relationship to this concept of gratitude, and I just wanted to quickly go through that. The same point of Arjuna asking Krishna that if I do this task, if I participate in this war, will it not lead to bad karma? And that is how Krishna goes on to teach him the concept of karma yoga, right? And in the course of that, Krishna makes a very important point, and he says, whoever performs all their duties, all their actions as a yajna, as a sacrifice, they will not be bound by the consequences of their actions. And in fact, he goes on to say, whoever does not perform their actions this way, they will only be eating their own sins. This very concept Swami has taken and expanded in a very beautiful explanation that Swami gives. He says the worship of the 5 mothers. Many of you may have studied it even in your Balvikas or later. Swami speaks of this respect for 5 mothers. The first one Swami speaks about is the Deha Mata, the mother of this body. And in extension, we can of course say our parents too, in general, isn't it? Nobody has given us as much as we have received from our parents. And Swami would often tell us as students, any number of times we have heard this from Swami, if you cannot show love and gratitude to your parents, be absolutely sure you will never be able to have devotion for God. And God will not accept that devotion if you have not shown gratitude to your parents. Imagine when we were students, we were before Swami, and Swami would sometimes come and ask us, so what do you want to do after your studies? And we would tell Swami, you should tell us. Whatever you tell, we will do. Whatever is your command, we will follow. The Supreme Lord, whose command is followed, as the Vedas say, even the sun and the moon and the fire follow his commands. He is such a Lord, but he will stand before us and he will say, go ask your parents. What is your father telling? What is your mother telling? What do they want you to do? There was once 5 students who were studying in our university, and these 5 students were from Sri Lanka, right? So they were living in Puttaparthi and they were studying in Swami's college. And invariably, most of the vacations they used to stay back because it was quite expensive to go back to their country and come. So one day, Swami, of these 5 students, I think 3 of them were brothers. So one day Swami comes out of the interview room and looks at one of them, and Swami asks, where are the other 2 brothers? So Swami calls the 3 brothers and Swami says, go inside the interview room. And inside the interview room, Swami asked them, when was the last time you wrote a letter to your mother. The three brothers looked at each other. They said, maybe Swami, a couple of weeks back. Swami said, lies. You have not written for 3 months. And that was the truth. They had not written for a long time. And then Swami said, do you know, right now, at this very moment, your mother is sitting in front of my photograph and crying. And Swami said, what is she crying? She's saying, Swami, I have sent my children to you because I know that is the best for them. I know you will take care of them. I know that as a parent, this is what I should be doing to give them the best, that is to be near Swami. But having sent them to you, they seem to have completely forgotten me. They don't write letters to me. They don't think of me. And she said, Swami, even you don't think of me. Even you have forgotten me. So they are happy with you, you are happy with them, and I am left out. And saying so, she broke down and she was crying in front of Swami. And then Swami looked at these boys and Swami said, do you even understand how much your parents have done so that you can be here? Swami said, I only know how many nights they have gone without food to afford your stay in Puttaparthi. And Swami says, you don't even have this much gratitude for what they have done. And then Swami told, right now, all three of you go out of the interview room, sit down in the portico, each one of you will write a letter to your mother, and only then go back to the hostel. And then Swami said, after that, 1 week you will write, second week the second brother will write, and third week the third brother will write, and then again the first one, second one, third one. If I come to know that this letter writing cycle has stopped, I will throw all three of you out. If you cannot show gratitude for what our parents are doing in our lives, then we don't deserve Swami's love. Not my words, Swami's words. So that is one of the most important attribute of gratitude Swami says you should have. In fact, when we were talking to one of the old devotees, she was telling that when Swami had gone to East Africa, the year 1968, Swami had asked Mother Ishwaramma to stay in this devotee's house. This devotee was from Bombay, and Swami said, you cannot travel too much, so you stay in this devotee's house, they will take good care of you. And then Swami went to Africa. And this devotee, who was a small girl at that time, she said, I learnt from Swami how one must respect one's parents. Because even though Swami was away, Swami ensured that every few days Swami would make a phone call. And Swami would speak to Mother Ishwaramma and tell her that he is fine, he is doing well, he is going around these other places he visited. And when I think of that, are we more spiritual than Swami? That when we become a little spiritual, we forget our parents. Here was Swami who said, I don't belong to you, but still he had to show his gratitude to his parents as an example to each one of us. Then Swami speaks about the Deshamata, right? The motherland. It is easy to understand the love of a mother because it's a conscious gift to you. Right? Consciously she is giving whatever she is giving. But the contribution of the society around us, right? Swami says Deha Mata, Go Mata, Desha Mata and Veda Mata. All these others are very, very subtle to understand. When you look of Go Mata, Swami says you should worship the cow. Well, the cow doesn't come willingly and give its milk to us. Right? Its sacrifice is not conscious and willing. We go and take what we want. But the moment we start feeling a sense of responsibility and gratitude towards them, we will be kinder in our actions, isn't it? Same is the case with nature. Nature doesn't come and tell us, here, take my fruits. Nature doesn't come and tell us, here, take my wood. We are taking what we want. But even as we do that, if we are able to be a little more conscious, little more aware, little more grateful, then Swami says you will start treating nature like a mother. And you will not fleece a mother, isn't it? You will not grab from a mother. You will take with gratitude, and you will also try to give back. You will also try to care. Many years ago, there was a devotee who started a vriddhashram for cows. For all these cows that eventually become barren, he wanted to start an old age home for the cows. So he came to Swami and he said, apparently, that Swami, I am starting an old age home like this. If Swami can give one of the old cows from Gokulam, Swami's own Goshala, then I will feel very happy as the first member of that old age home. Swami was very happy with the project, and Swami blessed him profusely, and Swami said it's very good. But when he asked for this old cow from Swami's Gokulam, Swami said, no, why will I give? Swami said, I cannot give. And then Swami said, because that cow has served us, it is our duty to take care of that cow. How do you think I will send away the cow that has served me to an old age home like this? Right? In very small actions, Swami was constantly showing us how we should be grateful for everyone around us. In fact, the most important episode in the Krishna Avatar, most of you may be familiar with that, where Krishna as a small boy stops this grand festival of worshipping Lord Indra. Right? He goes and tells, why do you have to worship Lord Indra? And then he says, why don't we worship Govardhana instead, the mountain? Because that is what gives us all that we need. It gives us the waters, it gives us the pastures for our cow. So Krishna says, let us worship Govardhana, and of course we all know the story thereafter. But the most important thing there is, the worship for Lord Indra was being performed out of fear. If we don't worship him, he will get angry. If we don't do this yajna, there will be a torrential rainfall. And what Krishna was doing is, he was telling them that no worship should be done out of fear. Worship should be done out of gratitude. You might as well worship the mountain out of gratitude than worship the Lord out of fear. Devotion should be based on gratitude. Devotion should be an expression of gratitude. In a discourse that Swami had delivered to students in the hostel, Swami made this statement: devotion is nothing but gratitude. Think of it. If devotion is gratitude, how will our approach to it be? See, right now, when we go and do Seva, or when we go and do some Swami's work, what is our attitude? At least somewhere in the back of the mind, Swami, I have done this work, note it down. Sometime you will have to give it back to me. Right? Sometime when there is a need in my life, remember that I have done Seva for you. But if you are doing anything that is an expression of devotion out of gratitude, what is gratitude? An expression for something that you've already received. So the next time when you sit and sing bhajans, next time when you go and do Seva, think for yourself that Swami, you have given me so much in life. This is a small expression of my gratitude to you. Then automatically we will not expect in return, isn't it? Not that Swami will not give, but we will stop expecting. So every small act of devotion that you do, may it be participating in bhajans, doing some seva, taking a Balvikas class, or organizing an event such as this, try to think for yourself, Swami, I have received so much from you. This body is so healthy. There is food on my plate. You have given me good education. I am grateful for so many things, and what I am doing is a small expression of gratitude. And Swami says, when you start expressing gratitude through all these devotional acts, then devotion is what it becomes pure. The final point, which I in fact started off with, I'll come back to that. Swami says you should be grateful to the Veda Mata. Right? Veda Mata, the Vedas. It means the wisdom, the eternal wisdom. We have to be grateful for that eternal wisdom. We may have different reasons why we pray to God. We all have needs, we all have problems, we all have cravings to be fulfilled. But in the course of all this, through this relationship, we come to Swami. But Swami is giving us something much, much more greater than that, isn't it? Swami is trying to turn us into the divine self that we really are. This human self has a lot of needs. The human self is filled with desires. But Swami is trying to slowly edge us towards that idea that we don't need anything from around us to complete us. We are complete by ourselves. And that wisdom is what this Veda Mata stands for. If you ask any of your mothers, what way you want us to show gratitude to you, what do you think will be their answer? Will they say, give me a birthday gift? Will they say, come and take care of me? Invariably, all mothers and parents will only say, obedience. Right? Obedience is the best way to show love to your parents. In the same way, obedience is the best way to show love to this Veda Mata, to this wisdom that Swami is giving us. Can we, in a small way, try to align our life to that message that Swami is giving? We have Swami in our lives, right? There is nothing that Swami cannot give. There is nothing that is beyond Swami. Truly speaking, we just don't have to look beyond him at all. There is nothing that we have to say, oh, if I have this, I will get my wish fulfilled. I need this energy to heal me. I need this healing person to come and treat me. Nothing. Because we have the Supreme Lord Himself with us. And the whole thing is, in all these, Swami is making us do small things, thinking that this person is doing this for me. And whether we have gratitude or not, Swami is filled with a sense that if someone does something for me, I will have to repay in bounty. I'll conclude with this final story, a beautiful story that was narrated by one of our seniors, a student of Swami who later became a Sevadal. And he was doing Seva in Swami's mandir in Vrindavan. So one day when Swami was coming out for darshan, one of the dried leaves on the coconut trees fell down very close to where the devotees were standing. And one of the lady devotees started screaming in fear. And Swami noticed it, and Swami called this Sevadal, and Swami told him, he said, it's very dangerous. What will happen if all these dried leaves start falling on people? So Swami told him, you get a person who can climb coconut trees and get all those dried leaves removed. And Swami went away. So this Sevadal went out trying to find a person to climb coconut trees, and somehow nobody was ready to come. So he didn't know what to do. He went back to his shop which he was running, and a tender coconut seller came to his shop, and he asked this man, "Will you be willing to come and do this work?" And this man said, "Sir, I don't want to come to the ashram because last time when I came they did not pay me well. So I don't want to come." So this brother told, "You don't worry about the payment. I will pay you how much ever you want. You just come and do this work." So this man said, "Okay." And he was taken to Brindavan. And this man started removing all the dried leaves. And as he started, the window opened, and from inside Swami started observing him. After some time, Swami came down and Swami called that man. And Swami asked him, "What is your name? Where do you live?" And this man was trembling because he was feeling that just now I told that I will not come to Sai Baba's ashram. And here is Swami directly coming and speaking so lovingly to me. So Swami asked him, "So do you have a family?" He said, "Yes, Swami." "How many children?" He says, "Swami, I have 7 daughters." Swami says, 7 daughters? And then Swami materializes Vibhuti and gives it to him. And we all know that somebody usually gives Swami a handkerchief to wipe his hand. But there was nobody around. So lovingly Swami wipes his hand on the hair of this man who is doing this work. Imagine, he would have been sweating and all of that. Swami did not hesitate. Swami wiped his hand on his head. And then Swami went inside. And Swami called this Sevadal and Swami asked him, "You come with me." And Swami pulled out an envelope and Swami pulled out one bunch of currency notes, and then Swami started counting. Swami counted out 7,000 rupees. Swami said 1,000 per daughter and put it in a cover. Then again went out, called this man, and Swami gave it to him, and Swami said, "See, New Year is coming, 1,000 rupees per daughter, you buy them some clothes." This man broke down. He said, "Why? Why should you do this? I'm after all a person who just come to pluck dried coconut leaves." And Swami says, "No, you keep it. It's my blessing, my prasadam to your family." And then Swami looks at the Sevadal and Swami said, "This is not the payment. The payment which you promised, you have to give it to him. This I am giving out of my love." And again Swami goes inside. 5 minutes later, again Swami comes with 2-3 baskets of fruits. Swami says, "Take this for your family." And this man was so overwhelmed by the love that Swami showered on him for nothing at all. Right? He was after all just doing his job. And he went away. This episode got over. 15 years later, this Sevadal was standing at a bus stand, and next to him was standing a man who was wearing a silk dhoti, a silk shirt, gold rings and bracelets and everything. And suddenly this man looked at him and asked, "Sir, do you recognize me?" He says, "No sir, I don't recognize you. I have not met you before." "Sir, I used to sell tender coconut. You had taken me to Vrindavan ashram once." And the man was surprised. "You look totally different now." Then the man says, "That one work that I did for Swami changed my life. After that, everything in my life changed. Today I am a crorepati. Each one of my daughters has a 2-storied home for themselves. I have nothing to ask." Just a small work done for Swami. That is the gratitude that he fills our lives with. If we start looking at our lives and learn to be grateful for the small things, be sure life will be filled with happiness. Filled with happiness. When you're eating food, be grateful. When you go to sleep, be grateful. how many people don't have a good night's sleep? How many people don't have a roof under which they can go to sleep? Swami says, the more we are finding reasons to be grateful, we will not find reasons to complain, we will not find reasons to be unhappy. And this is not merely a feel-good attitude to have, but as I explained, this actually takes us closer and closer to our own reality, the very purpose for which we all have come to Swami. So with these words, I most humbly offer this at Bhagawan's lotus feet. I thank you all for this opportunity. I thank the Swami in each one of you for all the warmth and love, and I place this at Swami's lotus feet.